Hello subscribers, this is Jim from Munching with Michael coming to you from day 15 of Whole30. I currently live in San Antonio, Texas. When you think of San Antonio, Texas, the things that most likely stick out to you are the San Antonio Spurs, the historic Riverwalk District, and how could we forget the Alamo? However, one thing unique that struck me immediately about Military City, USA was its absolute obsession with barbacoa. It is everywhere. You cannot escape it, and it is freaking delicious. Traditional preparation includes digging a hole in the ground, pouring in hot coals, and cooking your meat wrapped in agave leaves, usually goat, lamb, or beef, overnight. With that in mind, today I have prepared something very special for you. This is Whole30 compliant South Central Texas styled smoked beef cheek barbacoa tacos. Check it out. Okay guys, so here are our beef cheeks after we've gotten them out of our packaging, gave them a quick rinse and patted them dry, and now they're ready to trim up. So what we're looking to do is get rid of as much of this kind of silver skin, tacky stuff as much as possible. We don't have to get rid of everything because it's going to be going on the smoker for a really long time, so a lot of it's just going to kind of soften up. So we don't have to obsess too much, but we are just going to clean them up a little bit. To do that, I highly recommend using a boning knife. If you've got a really sharp knife, use the sharpest one you have, and boning knives work really well for that. We're just gonna trim these up as best we can, and then we'll move on to seasoning. All right, guys, and here is the finished product. I am so excited with how these guys turned out. We're ready to start our rub now. I'm using Mikie's meat rub, which I got as a Christmas gift. This is his Peppery blend, and this one was designed specifically with beef in mind. It's also Whole30 compliant, meaning there are no added sugar in it. My guess is that this is mostly pepper, paprika, salt, and granulated garlic. That's my guess, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and put a layer of rub on top of these guys, and once we're done with that, we're gonna be ready to go set up our grill for indirect heat. All right guys, so here we are. One tumbleweed charcoal starter. Light it up. Chimney, we're gonna fill it up about 1/4 of the way with charcoal. Put it on top and let that start firing up. Okay, the charcoal is good and hot. Dump it over the top. And today, because we are doing beef, the only option is post oak. So that's gonna be our smoking wood. Heat deflector goes on the top. Grate goes on the top. Temperature probe goes in. Close the lid. Open our vents. We're looking for 250 or 275. Whoa, what a beaut. Oh yeah. Here are our beef cheeks rubbed down and ready to go. All right guys, so phase one is winding down. Phase one being getting those beef cheeks some smoke flavor on the grill. Phase two is the braising part of the cooking. So we've got 2 foil pans here. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna add about 2 cups of stock to each one. You can use vegetable broth, beef stock or beef broth is what you're gonna see used most commonly. Next, we're going to slice up a yellow onion and lay down an onion bed. All right, next we're gonna add a little bit of garlic to each one. Say maybe, I don't know, 2 cloves worth. I'm gonna toss a bay leaf in each one. And I'm gonna put a little bit more of meat rub in there, just to keep building the layers of flavor. I'm gonna throw a little bit of ghee in there as well. All right, so I'm gonna bring these outside with some water, top them off, foil them up, and get them back on. All right, so all told, our beef cheeks have been on the grill for about 2.5 hours, so it's time to start braising these guys. So I'm just gonna pull them off into these foil pans. We're gonna wrap over the top, and then we're gonna put them back on. Look at the bark on these guys. That is the color we are looking for. was a waste of broth. All right, so these guys have been back on for about 3.5 hours. So we're gonna pull them off, and I'm actually gonna check them with a meat thermometer to see where we're at. I'm hoping they're gonna be somewhere between about 200 and 205. If they are, that means that we're ready to go ahead and start the rest period. Yeah, we're reading right about 204. They probe like butter. We're gonna put them in a cooler, and we are going to let them rest for exactly the duration it takes to play a round of disc golf and come home. All right, so this is the moment of truth. This guy sat in the cooler for probably about 2 hours while Duke and I went out and played a little bit of disc golf. So you can see the color on the top. It's almost like a black. We've got that nice bark that you typically see with things like brisket. I'm gonna transfer these pieces over here, and we're just gonna pull them apart, and let's see if we got them tender. Hopefully so. Falls apart in your hand, just melts apart. So I'm just gonna pull all of these pieces, and then after that we'll set up for our taco bar. All right, guys, so one of the last things that we need to do is get our, they're not tortillas, they're not taco shells, but we need to put our meat in something. So what we're using are these little wraps. They're made out of the vegetable jicama. You can get them at Trader Joe's. They are a lifesaver during Whole30. I use a coconut oil and ghee blend. So we're just gonna put about a tablespoon on this pan over medium-high heat. Good idea. All right, guys, and here is the finished product. These are our barbacoa beef cheek tacos. Gotta have white onion, have a little bit of cilantro, compliant garlic habanero sauce that I actually bought at Marshall's. This came from Marshall's, and of course lime. So let's go ahead and build these tacos up. I am starving. I'm making 6, I'm going to eat 6. All right, enough screwing around. Let's do this. So good. Thanks so much for checking us out. Please like and subscribe. Keep eating good.